Hello, morning, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Hey guys, it's Anna Brooks here. I need to take my shades off for a sec, just so I can see whether you guys can see how red I am. I suppose you can a little bit. I'm like epically red because I just did the very definition of torture, I believe. It was a F45 workout. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of like F45 is like a group fitness kind of thing, but rather than like typical group fitness classes like your Les Mills or whatever that you get at a gym, there's not like one person up the front leading the class and the class is just doing what they say. It's actually like circuit type work, but you're going at your own pace, you're doing your own thing, and the trainers are walking around and like motivating you and supporting you and pushing you a little bit further and obviously checking your form and your technique and stuff. So I apologize if I'm going to be coughing like crazy because that's what happens when I do an intense cardio type session. You know, if you've ever done like those beep tests back in like school and stuff where you had to run up and down between particular beeps, and if you remember, once everybody was done, if they properly pushed themselves, like the whole class was sitting around basically gasping and coughing just because of our energy systems, the way our aerobic and our anaerobic systems work, and the lack of oxygen deficit, lack of oxygen, aka an oxygen deficit, right? So that's what I'm feeling like right now because honestly, we did the Docklands, which is the name of the particular training that it was today. So they all have different training structures, and Docklands is the one we did today, and holy crap, this is the most intense cardio session I've done in a very long time. So yes, I am beetroot, which I think you can kind of see because I am actually glowing like red, and I'm also exhausted and coughing and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this is a good introduction. I realise I'm probably sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm not. I'm getting to a point here. Let me get some water. So this is all very relevant, and I am getting to a point about what I wanted to discuss with you today, which is basically, am I meant to be sore after every single workout, right? So this is a question that I get asked sometimes because most people, when they train with me, and they're not going to be training with me for too much longer because I'm actually officially stopping PT very soon, but the clients that I have always end up feeling usually quite sore after their workout with me, and for the most part when they do their own workouts as well, because they get used to working at a particular intensity when I'm training them. So occasionally someone will ask, well, is it normal, like my friends don't feel very sore after their workouts, or they used to at the beginning but now a few months later they don't feel sore, and that kind of thing. And here's my answer to that. I've been training, and I do call it training. That's another thing, is if you're calling it a workout, I dare say you're probably not going to be sore. Once you transition to the stage where you do actually call your workouts training, you may find that you start getting a little more intense, I guess, and a little more sore. But that's just a byproduct kind of thing, right? So I've now been training in a gym for 13 years, I think. 13 or even 14 almost, I think, because I was 16 or 17 when I first started. Not like properly, I would definitely call that working out at that point, but I did get into weights quite quickly. So, and I still am sore pretty much day to day, every single day. It is very rare for me to wake up on any given day and not have at least some portion of my body, some muscle groups be sore. That's just a very rare occurrence because of how hard I train, right? And how intensely and how much basically effort I put into it. So here's what it comes down to. It is partially genetics, okay? So some people will naturally recover faster and not get as sore from workouts. That is true. There is some genetic predisposition to it. But also it's more to do with the intensity that you're training. So the thing is, whenever you start any type of exercise, so like at the moment I've started F45, as well as my weight training. So for the past 3 weeks, I've basically been doing 2 workouts a day, which is much more than normal for me. And I've been doing my heavy weights and my F45 training. And so I have been very, very, very sore, like much more sore than I've been in a long time. And it's not because I'm working harder as such, it's simply because it's something different to my body. It's not used to this kind of high intensity cardio training that isn't just being on a cross trainer or a rower or something, and there's lots of jumping and plyometrics and that kind of stuff, right? So my body's not used to it, so it's responding by obviously having to develop new strengths, develop new muscles, grow new muscle cells, things like that. And in doing that, it's going to get sore because it's being torn. The muscles are being torn in different ways that they're not used to, so they can repair. So when you first begin any kind of training, whether it's you join a gym and you start doing classes, or even once you start like properly training and start doing weight training and that kind of thing, and yes, I realise what I just said, and yes, I do agree that weight training is proper training. As long as you're doing classes, you're not really going to get any kind of amazing results aside from your fitness increasing a little bit. So once you do get to that stage where you are now officially like training properly, first few weeks, first few months, you're probably going to find that you're really sore. And the reason is because you haven't done it before. You're tearing down all these muscles that haven't really been worked in that way before. They're going to struggle. They're going to have to rebuild themselves. So you're going to find that you're sore. Now, if after a few months or even a few weeks or whatever it is, you're finding that you're not getting that sore anymore, there is a very good chance that the reason that's happening and not happening is because you're not pushing yourself very hard anymore, right? So if you go from point zero, where you've been sitting on the couch not training at all, to suddenly working out, that's a huge jump. So therefore your muscles get sore. Once your muscles adapt to that new level of activity, say you come to the gym 3 times a week and do your program, once they adapt to that, it becomes your new couch level, basically. Or not, without saying that you're not doing anything, it does become your new level and your new standard at which your body's used to it, right? So it's not going to get that sore anymore because it's adapted to it, it's grown and it's strengthened in that way. So what you need to do is push yourself harder. So this can mean obviously your weights, which is something that people get very lazy on. They start on a particular weight and then they don't push themselves to increase that weight, and that can be a big part of the reason. Your body adapts, it grows stronger, and that weight that was once challenging is no longer challenging. So you need to increase the weight that you're lifting for whatever exercises. Apart from that, it's just an intensity thing, and there's so many different training methods that can increase the intensity in terms of like drop sets or forced repetitions or high repetitions versus low repetitions, that kind of stuff. There's so many things that you can mix up, and you can definitely get a trainer that can teach you and take you through all of those options and teach you how to push. But it does come down to, in the end, just pushing yourself that little bit more, right? So whatever way you choose to do it, it's about increasing the intensity of your workout to make sure that you're really struggling, that you're really pushing. Because if you're not struggling, your body's not going to have anything to adapt to, it's not going to have anything to strengthen, it's not going to have anything to grow with, it's just going to basically plateau and it's not going to get sore. Like I said, genetically, some people will just recover faster, and I go definitely through phases as well, depending on diet things as well, where my body will just really quickly heal itself and recover, and I won't get as sore. Whereas other times I will find myself getting very sore very quickly for no real reason. So that's an ebb and flow of life, and it's also genetic a little bit as well. And some people will, for example, find that they always get sore in one area or not the other. Legs tend to be one of those bits where people will find that they always get really sore in their quads, but not in their hamstrings or their glutes, or vice versa. They may always get really sore hammies and glutes, but their quads just never seem to get sore after the workout. Everyone's body's different as well in terms of how long after this pain comes, this sort of what we call DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. Everyone's a little bit different on how long it takes to actually come on. For some people, it may only be a few hours. I've seen people who literally get DOMS just a few hours later. Otherwise, some people it's about half a day, about 12 hours. Other people it's a full day. Other people it's a day and a half or 2 or 3 days. They might train their legs on Monday and they won't feel it till Wednesday. That real DOMS feeling afterwards. So it's real. That is very genetic. That is very everybody's different kind of thing. But yes, you should be sore after every workout, or close to. Like if there's going to be a workout here and there where you don't really get too sore, that's not the end of the world. But if in general you find that you used to get sore when you came to the gym or whatever workout you're doing, whether it's at home or whatever, but now you're not, then yeah, the truth is probably that your intensity hasn't increased, right? So your fitness and your muscle strength and everything has increased because you've started doing it. But as it's increased, you haven't started increasing the intensity. So now what used to be challenging for you is now easy, and therefore your body's not actually growing and responding in any new challenging ways. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. Yeah, that was all that I really wanted to discuss today. I'm trying to think whether there was something else. Let me try and get some more water. I really need to get my tripod out again because I'm getting tired of just holding up this phone already. I didn't realize how much effort this used to be. And this is my second live stream already today. So if you've seen earlier today, I did another episode of Anna's Attitude Adjusters, and that was a really, really awesome one. It's about are you actually addicted to the struggle, basically, addicted to the pain. It's a really important lesson. Definitely go check that out if you haven't seen that one. It's up just above this one, or if you're rewatching the replay on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever it is, then definitely search that one up, episode 7 of Anna's Attitude Adjusters. You can find them on my channel on YouTube as well. I'll get that up for you today. So apart from that, just to give you guys a bit of an update about what's going on in my world. So yes, I am finishing up PTing very shortly, purely for personal reasons. And the personal reasons, I'll be very honest, are just that it's not my passion, it's not my core passion and my love and everything. And I really want to focus more on my big vision, which is obviously this, and which is the online stuff and the online programs and the coaching and that kind of thing. And my core message, which is around living life on purpose and creating your lifestyle by design and not by default. So changing a few things around so that I can focus more on that. And part of that is letting go of the personal training side of things. You will never end up not having me talking about fitness or about health or pushing yourself or anything like that, because honestly, fitness and training and working out are absolutely at my core, and it's something that I am so passionate about, which is actually the second book now that I'm writing. I won't give away too much just yet. I can't even remember if I already told you the title. I might have. But it is much more. My first book was The Problem with Being Perfect. You can still get that now on Amazon. If you just look up Anna Brooks, The Problem with Being Perfect, you can grab that as an ebook on Amazon. But my second book is going to be much more fitness and health related and quite controversial, I can say. It's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but that's okay. Someone's got to do it, and someone's got to speak up for the stuff that needs to be said, basically, and I'm happy to do that. So keep your eyes peeled. Yes, eyes peeled, ears tuned, all those kind of things. I'll let you know once that's getting closer to the date that that's released, because that's my next one that's coming up, so that's a bit exciting. And I do have a new program coming up for you guys as well around morning routines. I know I've sort of mentioned this off and on in a couple of other live streams already, and it's been a slow process because there's been a lot of changes going on behind the scenes, but it is definitely happening. It is definitely coming. So I will keep you posted and let you know as soon as that's up and running. And yes, in the meantime, like I said, jump onto Amazon, grab The Problem with Being Perfect. It's an incredible book. It's everything to do with growing up, always being pushed, always being supported, always being told that you're going to succeed at no matter what you do. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it. All the things that we often get told in this new generation that's coming up. And the problem with that, and the struggles, and basically the lessons that you learn coming out the other side, what happens when perfection isn't enough. So it's a really incredible story based sort of on my story, but I think very relatable, and a lot of interwoven stories of friends and family and people that I've met in my time who have contributed and given me ideas towards the book. So definitely jump on. I'll pop the link down below so you can just go directly to that, or otherwise just jump on Amazon and grab it there. All right, cool. I am going to leave you guys there. I hope you have an amazing day, and as always, if you have any questions, any comments when you're watching the replay, please pop them through. I do always go back and check and have a read through and reply, or feel free to private message me if you prefer. All right, I will talk to you really soon. Have an amazing day, and remember to live life on purpose. Bye.